going on, everybody? How you guys doing out there? Hope I'm loud enough. If I'm not, just let me know, and I turn it up some. Well, I'm gonna do this one the best way I can. Happen to find this. The what was it? When I was on the flight, I just got bored and started looking up shit. And I happened to stumble across this. I also went on the internet and found out that somebody else out there on YouTube has talked about this. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to. I didn't want to accidentally. What's up, Mo Boxing? What's happening? I don't want to I don't want to use any of their um, talking points for mines. So what it looks like here is Daniel Kinahan's implemented into a another lawsuit per se. I don't. Doesn't sound like this one would go through, but so seems like there's a lot of um, insinuations in here. It's pretty long. It's about 100 and something odd pages. Hold up. I'm tired of this damn thing doing this, man. Keep these new updates keep dropping system permissions and shit. Hopefully you guys can see what's on the screen here. I had to Jimmy rig some stuff real quick so I can get you guys in. Okay, cool. Hold up. Try it again. So I was trying to go read along with you guys instead of damn, it ain't popping up. Give me a second. I'm gonna do it. Can I do it like that? Window. All right, I'm gonna have to do it like that. Give me 1 second. So you guys can see and follow along what I'm talking about here. Because obviously Google Chrome is fucking up again. So I'm gonna do it another way. I'm just gonna go into my handy dandy drive here. Because it's not letting me actually I can do it like this. Downloads. Boxrec lawsuit. There we go. Damn, it's still not showing it, huh? God damn it. Give me 1 second. Let me figure this out. I hate this shit. So as I was reading this thing, it's basically a whole bunch of sequence of events that led up to all of this, and they have to do with the boxing matches. They basically had to do with Boxrec. They're basically saying Boxrec, ABC, Daniel Kinahan, and all these people as are in cahoots into trying to put a monkey wrench in Edward Mendy's boxing. Give me 1 second, man. I'm trying to figure this damn thing out, man. This is ridiculous. Google Chrome would be able to. Okay, let's try it now. I'm tired of this little shit doing this. Damn. I did that, and it's still not working. Yeah, this be the most dumbest thing I ever seen, man. This thing keeps it keeps doing this shit. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, now you guys can see something, right? So I figured the best way to do it is just read what's on the screen. If anybody out there wants any of this stuff, you could DM me on Twitter. Uh, just look up Michael Johnson Boxing Talking More on Twitter, and send me your email, and I can get that to you. Other than that, that's the only way I would be sending it. I would not be sending it directly to people who just put their stuff in the chat or whatever. You have to go to my Twitter, DM me, and basically submit a formal request, and I'll send it to you. But anyways, I have to make sure that you guys can still hear me out there in YouTube land because I have to restart everything. And so there's basically it's the complaint. And if you look at the plaintiffs, you will see a very, very familiar name, and that's Ivana Habazin. Seen her a few times. She's a female boxer. You got Charles Munez as the manager of her. You got Bernard Brendan Dens and Edward Mendy. The defendants will be Boxrec, John Shepard, Marina Shepard. John Shepard and Marina Shepard are the co-founders and of Boxrec, I believe. You got Samson Liu. You got the ABC, Association of Boxing Commissions. You got Dubai Boxing Commission. You got Ahmed Siddiqui, which is I guess the president of Dubai Boxing Commission. You got Jose Muhamed. You got MTK Global and DK Daniel Kinahan, right? So as we go down, because basically I don't want to it's 100 and some fucking pages. 102 pages, and we're not going to be covering 100 and fucking 2 pages today, okay? If you guys want to go ahead and want to cover that yourself, like I said, Michael Johnson Boxing Talking More on Twitter. And matter of fact, I'll put that in the thing once I start going down some of this stuff. Because I want to get to the actual part where they okay, not the parties, because basically it says who they are, right? Blah blah woo woo woo. Like I said before I started this, didn't really know how I was going to do this. I just figured if I just go live and just cover some of this stuff. Now, this is the factual background, and it's going to cover a lot of the events and stuff that made them to believe to, file a lawsuit against all these characters. Okay, so it says the April 10th, 2021 event, right? The event. On April 10th, 2021, a boxing event, an event took place at the Arabian Ranches Golf Club in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, right? The event was organized by Emirates Sports in association with Lionheart Boxing Productions, and the official promoter of record for the event was plaintiff Edward Mendy, an American promoter, and his business, Lionheart Boxing Productions, an American company. Emirates Sports, one of the oldest and most active sports promotion companies in the United Arab Emirates, also served as co-promoter of the event. The event was sanctioned and supervised by the United Arab Emirates, which by UAE law is the sole entity responsibility for regulation and supervision of boxing in the Emirates, both professional and amateur. The event also was sanctioned and was supervised by WBC, the oldest boxing sanctioning body. In one of 2 main events, women's boxer Ivana Habazin, a former world champion, fought a 10-round fight for a WBC regional title. the inaugural WBC Middle East welterweight title. The fight, which ended when Habazin opponent Nana, ooh, that's a fucked up. I ain't gonna jack that up. Did not come out of her corner. For round 3, can be seen in its entirety on Fit TV. Okay, I bought some Fit TVs before. I think is it Fight TV? Yeah, I guess it's Fight TV, not Fit. Fight. I mean, it ends with I-E. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even though Habazin won by knockout, Chakavashvili is currently listed as 7-16 on Boxrec. She has been stopped twice in little more than 2 months, but no promoter, boxing commission, or network programmer could discover that from looking at Boxrec in violation of Boxing Act. And the reason why it's a violation of the Boxing Act, because sometime in 2016, it looks like the ABC and all these characters excluded Fight Facts and tried to make Boxrec the official scorekeeper. And that's in his lawsuit up above. But I really just wanted to get with the actual factual stuff here, because it's 102 pages, y'all. Black Star Sports TV, what's happening, man? Habazin has since been rendered inactive by Boxrec, as her fight and historic title accolades does not even register on her record. The co-feature that night saw women's boxing legend Layla McCarter defeat another Georgian, Ellen. Can't pronounce that shit. Currently listed as 9-9 on Boxrec. That fight is also suppressed by Boxrec, but undoubtedly took place as can be seen on Fight. Present at the event was former champion Amir Khan as a WBC representative. It was Amir Khan who presented Habazin with the WBC belt after her win. After the event, Amir Khan, a prominent ambassador for the sport and popular former world champion, did all he could to get Boxrec to recognize Habazin's WBC title win, all to no avail. Even WBC president Marcelo Suleiman tried to get Boxrec to record the WBC title fight results. If nothing else, also to no avail. On behalf and information, Habazin fight is the only WBC title fight of record, certainly in the last century, which has not been recognized and recorded by Boxrec. The fight of the night of the event features so-called 1-0 must go fight between welterweight prospect and former WBO African champion Brennan Dins. 11-0, 8-0 on Boxrec against Ahmad Dawari, 8-0. The well-matched fight went the distance, while Dins won the fight, and his efforts were in vain, as the fight also has not been recorded by Boxrec to this day. Bruce Goes, what's happening? Bruce Gas. Dins was considered inactive and has lost his top ranking despite 3 fights in the last year, all of which Boxrec has failed to record. Ahmed Dawari, now also promoted by Mendy Sports, an embellished record despite his April 10th, 2021 loss to Dins. Sadly, also on the card was Sebastian Eubank, a dear friend of plaintiff Mendy and an event co-promoter. Eubank is from a prominent boxing family and is the son of 2-time middleweight world champion Chris Eubank. Sebastian Eubank fought the fight of his life in the walkout bout, a lively fight that also went the distance against a very game opponent bent on an upset. The Eubank bout hung on the balance for much of its duration. Unexpectedly, Seb Eubank subsequently passed away within months after the event from a drowning under unusual circumstances. Needless to say, Boxrec has refused to add Eubank's last fight in his record, despite pleas with Boxrec by his family members. Boxrec will not correct Seb Eubank's record even after he passed, not even on humanitarian grounds as requested by his wife. Interesting stories are being banded around by the DBC and around boxing and round 10 boxing. Mohan and other round 10 affiliates blame many for Seb's Eubanks' death by suggesting that injuries from his last fight at the event may have caused his demise. Lastly, the card featured 3 Emirate fighters who were doing their first professional boxing fights as professional debutees. A first for the Emirates and a major milestone for the sport boxing in the Emirates. Prior to the event, UAE had only had a couple of Emirates professional fighters. Thus, the event was a big boom for the Emirates professional boxing by turning 3 Emirates professionals, all at the same time. However, none of the Emirates fighters on the card has their pro debut results recorded on Boxrec, and all these guys are under Mini. All these guys are under him, and all of us, and basically what he's saying is they're not recording none of his fights, none of them, right? And they're supposed to be the official scorekeeper. 2 of the Emirates won while the third drew. None of these Emirates fighter results have been recorded to this date. United Arab Emirates, Boxing Commission, a member of AIBA, and a strong, prominent adherent of international best practice in boxing, supervised the event and assigned the official judges, referees, and ring doctor. The UAEBF is a regular host to many boxing events. All fighters submitted their medicals, boxing license, and had to submit proof of a negative PCR test had to be taken before 24 hours before the official weigh-in, which took place on April 9th, 2022. The event was held at the prestigious Arabian Ranches Golf Club and was sanctioned by not only the UAEBF, but also Dubai Sports Council, as well as the Dubai Tourism and Commerce Marketing Board. Further, the event was televised nationally in the UAE and across the Middle East and North Africa region. 26 countries and over 600 million populations by Abu Dubai Fight, as well as streamed live across various social media platforms. So basically, international. It was international, so it was all around the world. Additionally, the event was televised by tape delay on Fight TV and in over 125 million USA homes using regional cable networks. The organizers of the event were celebrated in Dubai and internationally for a successful event as they pulled of an entertaining fight card in the event in the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, using social distance best practice and adhering to the existing Dubai COVID regulations. Okay, that's not saying nothing. So he's saying after event organizers, including many and the UAEBF, provided Boxrec with the official results of all fights that took place that night. Yet to date, Boxrec has refused to publish the results of the April 10th, 2021 event and has refused to include them in the boxers' records, claiming that the event was not sanctioned as Boxrec has not approved the UAEBF as an ABC member. Further, as pushback to efforts to have the event results registered by Boxrec and its officials John Shepard, Marina Shepard, and Samson Liu started making both private and public claims to the effect that the event was not professionally promoted and that the fight did not otherwise meet Boxrec standards. Ooh. So that gets me right there. Like, what are your standards? You can say your standards is anything. Like, I haven't seen anything that I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, as long as the boxing commission has approved it, right? That's what I would assume. As long as the boxing commission has approved it, right? If that's the case, why are you approving why are they approving fights that now well that There were clear robberies. Where's the standards in that? Huh? There's no standards in that, but there's all kind of standards for these Mendy fighters. Maybe Mendy is doing something wrong. Maybe he needs to get his act together. Maybe it's somebody. It's somebody. Now let's go to another one. This is the Zimbabwe event, right? I think this is this the one? Is this the one? Nah, it ain't the one. This one states on December 11, 2021, yet another related boxing event took place in Zimbabwe. The promoter of the record event was Stalin Mau and his company Mau Promotions. I think I'm saying it right. Edward Bisau Mendy and Lionheart Boxing Productions participated as sponsors of the bout on behalf of Mendy's fighter Brandon Dins, paying for the fighter's purse, both sides, and related expenses of the bout. On behalf and information, Stalin Mau is the longest serving boxing promoter in Zimbabwe history, and the Zimbabwe event was promoted as part of the Peanuts to Diamond series, a series whose events are routinely reported by Boxrec. So they made a direct correlation to an event that is always being placed on Boxrec to Mendy's claims. So he's basically saying it's like, why all of a sudden you not put my shit on here? The Zimbabwe event was sanctioned by, supervised by the ZNB WCB, which by Zimbabwe law is the sole entity responsible for the regulation and supervision of boxing in Zimbabwe, both professional and amateur. 7 bouts were held that night, including a fight featuring Lionheart Boxing Productions fighter, welterweight prospect, and former WBO African champion Brandon Deans. Deans won his Zimbabwe event fight after 5 taught routes against an opponent trained to beat him by his former coach. Damn. Despite his violent effort and impeccable performance, Deans refused another entity in his record. So he still ain't in there. And they already made a direct correlation with that. So the people who've been putting on fights the commission that's been putting on fights, right? And you've been recording them, all of a sudden, now you not want to record them. Now let's go into another one. On February 5th, 2022, a third related boxing event, the Rio event, took place in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The promoter the promoter of record for Brazil event was Edward Mendy and Lionheart Boxing Productions. The event was sanctioned and was supervised by Brazilian Boxing Association, which by Brazil law is one of many entities recognized by supervision of professional boxing events and is responsible for regulation and supervision of boxing in Brazil, both professional and amateur. On behalf and on belief and information, the BBA is one of the largest boxing organizations in Brazil, if not largest boxing organization in the country. It operates throughout Brazil and has almost 60 affiliate chapters. 7 amateur bouts and 2 professional bouts were held on the night of February 5th, 2022, including the 2 professional fight features 2 Olympians during their professional debut fights. So I'm guessing he didn't do that one too. That one wasn't recorded. That one wasn't either. So that's the reason why they're telling you who these boxing commissions is and how prominent they is, so they can tell you it's like why all of a sudden they're not doing it now when it's supervised by these certain boxing commissions. Unless Mendy is doing something fugazi and Boxrec's caught on to it. I don't know. But I didn't get to the part where Boxrec and all these other guys have made their rebuttals to what the claims are against them. Now you had a beatdown event, had the same thing in that, right? The same thing happened in that. Now, in the beatdown event, right? In the beatdown event, Trying to see who was part of, like who was. But anyways, the beatdown event. On information on behalf of Boxrec, sole reason for its refusal to include the results of said events is arbitrarily, conspiracy, discriminatory, and violation of the Sherman Act as well as the Rico Act, as it is furtherance of conspiracy entered around and or originating with MTK Global and its owner Daniel Kinahan. More specifically, Boxrec refusal to update Ivana Haben's record with the WBC title included in is a violation of ABC official record keeping criteria. Rule 15, which provides for boxing registry records of world title bouts sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation, World Boxing Association, World Boxing Council, and the WBO. So basically, what they're saying is your boy Daniel Kinahan had something to do with it. Do with that one. I'm just trying to then this is all the reliefs that they're saying that they maybe this is about the ABC right here. They basically want them to fix the shit, pay damages, and pay for the lawyer fees. That's the gist of it. Basically, what they're saying is they don't want to fucking update none of their motherfucking records for any of their fights. Now let's see. Let's see something. Let's see how true this is. Let's see how true this is. Let's go to Boxrec. Let's see if they finally updated something. Right? See if they updated something here. I'm going to Sebastian Eubanks. Okay, 2-0, 2 wins. No. They still ain't updated it. I'll screen share it to you guys. This is one of the claims that they had. Remember, he lost it. He got an L on his record, right? Remember that. He has an L on his record. And on this one, it's saying 2 wins, 0 losses. Then you go down, it says he last fought in 2019. Huh. Interesting, ain't it? Didn't record it. And I always wondered that too, because of I looked at something on here a while back and I couldn't find it. And I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys something. Now, this might, I think it's related. Oh, they finally put it on there. That Hakeem Rockman Jr. lost to Tommy Morrison's son. I'm pretty sure y'all seen instances on Boxrec where fights weren't recorded properly or something like that. And I always wondered the whole Lomachenko thing when they tried to get rid of his L on his who was it? Who was it? They tried to get rid of somebody's L a long time ago. I think it was Lomachenko. They got rid of his L in one of the bouts, and he said something they shouldn't have said. And yeah, it was Lomachenko. Even though all the everything said he lost. Well, after I read that, I guess I can put the link in the chat if anybody want to go on and talk about this or something else. Be very well happy to, but basically what I wanted to show in this is that basically it's still what it is in the sport of boxing. There's always some black eye on the sport. There's always some fugazi ass shit going on. We all suspect some type of fuckery in the sport of boxing. We always suspect that, but you know, when you see it, that people are really having gripes with you know, boxing commissions, these refs, these judges. uh Olympics is always getting Olympics is always fighting, boxing is always fighting to stay in the Olympics. There's always some type of fugazi ass shit. Then the fugazi ass shit that we just seen recently was you know, that Jake Paul guy and Hakeem Rockman Jr. You know, how do you expect somebody to lose 30 pounds in that amount of time? You hoping that he lose 30 pounds in that amount of time, so you have the upper hand, like Sean Porter said. That's what you was hoping to do, and you're finding him 20% or whatever per pound. And but at the end of the day, in the contractually wise between the two parties, they agreed at 200, and he was 205, and because they had to up it up, you know, to I think they opened it. I think Jake said, well, the reports are saying Jake said 205 for him. And I think that was maybe kind of combat to where he comes in a little bit heavier, but you know, they said 205. But the fact still remains, you're still over from the actual contractual agreement. You can't go to the boxing commission and say, hey, 205, but then you have this actual damn, the ice cream truck coming. He probably selling weed. Yeah. But like I said, any of y'all want to come on and talk about a little bit of this, you guys are welcome. Another thing that I thought was pretty interesting was that everybody was talking about a couple days ago. Well, not everybody, but a few channels was the Devin Haney situation with the uh, franchise elevation that the WBC offers to certain fighters on provisions and stuff like that. But you know, Devin Haney said he didn't want it. And as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't care if they offered it to him or not. The shit shouldn't be. It should be no franchise bullshit in the sport of boxing. It shouldn't be, especially when you have an assigned. Especially when somebody really did. Check this out. Especially when you have somebody that does their due diligence, right? A fighter fights this guy to ally themselves up to a title shot, right? And they never get it. To me, when you're done wrong and stuff like that by some of these people, the best thing for you to do is to sue. And the reason why I'm saying it's the best thing to do is for you to sue is because that's the only thing that these people recognize in the sport of boxing is lawsuits. And I think that's what he should have did. I think that's what he should have did. Devin Haney should have did it too. But Devin Haney ended up getting exactly what he deserved, which is undisputed. But the lawsuits is the only thing they're respecting. The lawsuits is the only thing that you could keep these guys in check. You can't keep none of these boxing organizations, none of these boxing commissions in check just by woofing at the mouth and getting on social media. They don't care about that. As long as they can as long as they can get a few guys around the world to believe in their bullshit, they're going to fucking keep doing what they do. Hence, that's the reason why I say the whole thing with this franchise stuff in Devin Haney. He said he didn't want it. In order for you to become franchise, like Canelo did, and a couple of other these guys did, they asked for it. They asked for it. There's probably onesies and twos that didn't ask for it, but we heard on record Loma and Canelo asked for franchise. If they ask you if you want to become a franchise, uh, whatever it's called, boxer, you have to accept it. They can't just give it to you. It has to be accepted. You have to agree to it. And a lot of fighters out here that's well, not there's a small few fighters out here that got a lick of motherfucking sense that would just say fucking no. Now, it does make sense. The only way I would say if it does make sense to be a franchise title guy, right, is if you didn't have any mandatories and you didn't duck that mandatory and you fought them, and then you use that to prolong your the reign. I mean, prolong your road. I mean, you're not prolonged, but to execute becoming undisputed. And when you see a lot of these things, there is no when it comes to this franchise thing, there isn't. You can say Loma, well, he tried this and the third, but it still wasn't. Not only on that, you had a mandatory that the guy spent all this fucking money to get where he was, and you just vanished. I would have sued. That's just me. Like I said, way before all these things with the Dillian White situation, I said years ago, if this is really how you feel and you really believe you was done wrong, let the courts decide. Let the courts decide. And don't do it in the court of arbitration in sports. Do it so the whole world can see it, so they can know how fucked up it really is. When you go to the CAS, is Court of Arbitration in Sports, and you do a lawsuit, all that stuff is closed. Nobody can really talk about it. Y'all signing NDAs, non-disclosure agreements and shit. So you guys can't really talk about it. Hence, Wilder and Tyson Fury can't even really talk about it. They can't talk about exactly what really fucking happened in there. They can't. And folks want to wonder why. Like I said, I don't care if the WBC didn't offer Devin Haney a franchise elevation or not. It shouldn't be around. You know, it just shouldn't be around. You got Jake Paul, you got Marcelo Silliman talking about putting Jake Paul in the rankings. In his rankings for what? Where are you gonna put him in the top 10, top 15, the top 20? Where are you gonna put him? You gonna literally have this dude bypass somebody. Let me see where he's at. Let's see where Asim Rahman is. Let's see where he at. Oh, I got to go to the WBC website, huh? Yeah, I got to go to the WBC rankings. Let's see where he's at. I want to see on their website. Even WBC's website says powered by Boxrec. Now let's see here. Nope. Nigga ain't even ranked. He ain't even ranked. Nigga ain't even in the top 40. He ain't even in the top 40. Nope. He ain't even in the top 40. And y'all gonna go and put this. I'm just saying, man. You know, there's always some pay to play shit. You know, Danny Garcia comes back to fight Benavidez, knowing now well the nigga got one leg. You know what I'm saying? And all of y'all motherfuckers want to say, well, it was a good comeback fight. This in the third. Like, come on, y'all. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. He fought a motherfucker with one fucking leg, and now all of a sudden, Danny Garcia is about to get this big ass motherfucking push, and I guarantee you it's gonna be for a title shot. You've been going how long? Let's see here. That was they said 150. Yeah. Let's see. Motherfucker number Danny Garcia, number 5. Already talking about leapfrogging and fighting Tony Harrison and all this shit. Huh. And y'all want to say what he ain't fought in 2 years? Let me see. Nah, it ain't been 2 years. Has it? Damn. As they say. Let's check Boxrec. Yeah. 2 years and you still in the rankings. Two fucking years. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Granted, he had the what you call it? The the mental health thing pop up. And you know, mental health should be taken seriously and stuff, all that. I'm pretty sure he sent something in. They knew. But it is what it is. Like I said, if any of y'all out there want to get on and chop it up about this, man, or something else, just let me know. I got a little bit more time. But there was some other stuff I wanted to talk about too. Oh, yeah. Oh, Rick Glazer, right? He gonna the fuck he say? Let me pull it up. Screen share y'all real quick. He gonna say hashtag Showtime, hashtag Boxing Tonight is a sad comedy. It's a host of shot guys that shouldn't be fighting any longer, and fighters no one wants to see. One fighter, Gary Antoine Russell, is misplaced. He's good TV. Other than Russell, this show is garbage, which only if you have nothing else to do. And I wrote, but Oscar's card is good. He wrote Oscar's card was very good, especially for development series events. It's like, but that ain't got. I said yes for you. Not everyone's going to see it your way. My whole thing is like, why you always shitting on people, man? Specifically the PBC. For what? A lot of people put on garbage events. You don't want to say it. When I was watching the fight, right? Danny Garcia and Benavidez, the crowd was loud. They were engaged, and they appeared to be entertained. And then the night and the day after the fight, everybody can't stop talking about it. Everybody can't stop talking about it. For some odd reason. And like I said, the only thing that was shot about Benavidez was his knee. And you could tell. You could tell by his defense, and you could tell by his abilities to cut off the ring. He did not have two legs. He did not have two legs. If you believe he had two legs, that is your business. I can't help you with that. You know, you could clearly see. Look, let me tell you. Then he got shot in the motherfucking knee. The knee motherfucking cap or whatever. There's all sorts of ligaments in there. Whether or not it's close range, long range, bullets do damage. They do damage. And he got licked. And every since then, you can see and you can tell that he's two steps behind. You fighting and you're trying to fight in the pocket, and the only thing you can do is lean back because you can't get back because you got to have your leg in a certain position at all times because you can't move it a certain way. And I was pleased and displeased with how the fight went. And the reason why that is because if you can't get rid of a one-legged guy that can't move a certain way, that can't cut off the ring, and the only thing he could do with you is there a bunch of slap punches, a bunch of arm punches, and he's landing some significant blows on him. But if he had two legs, he would have been out. He would have had some power behind those punches. And that's what I say is that when he's talking about some Charlo and these guys, Harrison, he might have a chance, but I'm pretty sure Harrison's just going to outbox him to a decision. He fight Charlo, he's going to get fucking knocked out. He's going to get fucking knocked out. I don't want to hear all this thing about, he has a chin and this, that, and the third. There's levels to this shit in the game of boxing when somebody can land on you flush. If Dana Benavidez can land those punches on you with one leg, imagine what a motherfucker with two legs is gonna do. That's my opinion on the matter. You know. And Adam Kwanaki, well, bruh, I told a lot of people a long time ago that hell no. This guy, his defense is just too horrible. His defense is not good enough to be in there with somebody who knows what they're doing. It's just not. It's when opponents know that only thing you could do is stand flat-footed and come forward with no defense, Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a motherfucking problem. And the reason why we have a problem is because there's levels to the game of boxing. And if you go into a fight, you know that, this guy is he's heavy-handed. And if he lands a couple of barrages of punches on you, you might feel it, you may go down. But there's an opportunity for me. And the opportunity is his head does not fucking move. Head does not fucking move. And he came in there, I guess, out of shape and got outworked. Point blank period. Now I hear everybody talking about that Gary Anton Russell fighting in the stoppage. Well, yeah, it was. It could be. It could be. It appeared so, but as a fighter, you should know when you get knocked down to put your hands up. When the ref puts his hands up, you should walk back to the corner, turn around with your hands up already, walking towards the ref. You should not be trying to walk to the side and this and the third. When the ref puts his hands up, your glove should be right there. Your glove should be right there. You know what I'm saying? And That ref saw something he didn't like, and he stopped the fight. And you know, man, he could have. The ref could have. He could let it. He could have easily said, "Okay, let me see what you got," and then stopped it. But he didn't. He saw something that he didn't like, and he stopped it. Well, that's allegedly. That's allegedly. I don't know, because the camera's so far back, I can't see the guy's eyes really. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the dude know English, but I know in boxing, universal language is when the ref puts his hands up, giving them gloves. You're supposed to be giving them gloves, you know. But I don't know, man. It just didn't. It didn't look right. I'll give it. I'll say that it did not look right. That did not look right. I do not want to hear what that fucker got to say, man. That Ryan Garcia guy. I don't see. I don't understand why people just listen to that joker. And you know, he talks too much. That's all he is. You know, and by doing so, you start to see that he's full of shit. That whole weight thing that people keep talking about, man, I kind of sort of want to. I already talked about it, but I kind of sort of want to wait to see exactly how everybody, how everything unfolds, and the real information is out there. Because right now, all we hear is this guy and that guy. We you know, anybody can say, oh, what, 20 pounds? 20 pounds within 3-4 weeks? 30, was it 20, 30 pounds? Yeah, 30 pounds. And 3 or 4, maybe 5 weeks, 10 pounds a week, you got to camp, get into the fight, drained. That's why they did that. And I guess taking the fight and seeing the money and all that stuff, I guess at the end they realized that that's just not feasible. It is. But there's a lot of shit in stake on the line. There's a lot of shit in stake on the line, right? Jake Paul said he'd go to the UK and fought Tommy Fury, and he didn't do it. He said anywhere, blah, 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 and nothing happened with that. There's always something with this guy. And like Sean Porter said, where did he learn? Where did he learn all this stuff from? This is me. This is just me going into the fight. How come these motherfuckers just can't make this weight shit simple? How come with certain fights, this weight shit cannot just be down the line? If it's 154, it's 154. If it's 200, it's 200. You knew this motherfucker was well over probably 230 something pounds, and you still said, okay, 3-4 weeks. There's both sides fucked up. Both sides fucked up. Because when shit like happens like this, you're supposed to have a backup. Supposed to have a backup fighter. Just in case shit the weight don't go as planned. Right? Not only that, you're supposed to keep it realistic. If you're the A side, you're supposed to keep this weight shit realistic to where he can make this thing, because there's a lot of money on the line, right? For you to get, pay-per-view and all this shit, right? It's just not, oh, that's on them and we're going to take some money from them. You just fucking fucked up everybody's fucking day. People probably bought flights, hotels, these networks and all these things, put up money and all this shit to bring people down there, to per diem for the fight and all that stuff. the undercard and all that stuff is like is both sides in my opinion. Because when you're a so-called fucking professional, it's just not. It's not like I'm telling the dude to lose 10 pounds, right? Within 3 or 4 weeks, or 15 pounds in 3 or 4 weeks, 30 pounds, 3 or 4 weeks. That is not fucking feasible. That is not fucking feasible. Is it water? Is it muscle? Is it fat? It's just not fucking feasible. You wanted the guy to come up in there drained so you could tear that ass up so you can look good. I said it a long time ago. There's a reason why he picked this guy. I said it on Twitter. There's a reason why he picked Hasim Jr. There's a reason. And the reason why he picked that guy because he knew that he already sparred him and he knew that he had a good chance to whoop him. He had all these other guys out there to fight. That he could have fought. But for some odd reason, he picked him. Doesn't make any sense to me. He had a whole slew of people that he could have fought. And we could go down Boxrec with people that's 50-0. I mean, 0-50. 26 and 20. He had a whole slew of people that he could have picked that was on target for weight. And he picked somebody that he knew. See, both sides probably got fucked up. Hasim, the money. Jake Paul actually fighting a fighter that he know that he had the upper hand on and winning. So, not mad at nobody for this. I'm not mad at nobody for this. Kind of glad it's not happening. But at the end of the day, I always just got to keep the shit from my perspective. I could be wrong and stuff like that, but I'm just keeping it from my perspective. And I know people out there want to say, well, this, that, and the third, you pick a fight, you sign a contract, this and the third, but just because you sign a contract does not mean that the other party was divvying out the contract in good faith. That's kind of like when you hear rappers signing contracts for $2,500 or $25,000 and then they blow up. And then they don't even get no extra money. They still owe the next 3-4 years of making music, or three albums of making music and touring and doing all this stuff, while somebody else is getting $20 million while you only getting a fraction. See what I'm saying? At some point you got to figure out, like, damn, it's not feasible to lose 30 pounds and then go into a fight with this guy with the fucked up rehydration clause. It is not going to do it. It is not going to do it. But like I said, if you guys want to hear more about the little Boxrec thing, man, I didn't know how I was going to do it. The Boxrec ABC, Daniel Kinahan, right? I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just pulled it up and talked about a few things. Like I said, if anybody else wants to make a video of it and stuff like that, all you got to do is find me on Twitter, DM me, and I would literally hook you up. It's not no big of a deal. I'm gonna put it in the in the description of the video. So I'm gonna put it in the description. If you would like the actual document, DM me on Twitter, and I put my the name on Twitter. I just put it in the description right now. Hopefully it's saved. If it didn't, it is what it is. I tried. I think it went. So on that note, shout out to the boxing world and everybody stay sucker free.